importantly, the work that you do, how it will transform the economy of Region 2. So let us welcome our Vice President.
Thank you very much. Actually, Nigel outlined more than I intend to speak about today. I just wanted to come back to the ESSEQUIBO coast and to see that the initiative that we promised a month ago when I was here, that it would actually be implemented so that many people who now don't have a job could at least have a part-time job. And so that is simply why I'm here today. Now, I did not get a chance to speak with many of you. There are some of you who may have come to those meetings that I had a month ago when I outlined the challenges that we're faced with in Guyana, and particularly the challenges that we were confronted with when we assumed office. First of all, the challenge of overcoming the COVID pandemic and keeping the economy going at the same time. And then the challenge of having to take a country that had been in decline for 5 years and to shift the momentum. And why do I say that? Because many of you on the ESSEQUIBO coast would have followed what has happened and what we campaigned on, the promises we made to people, and why we made those promises. So we promised to reverse all the taxes that APNU had put in place. And why did we promise that? Because we thought that the taxes that they had put in place were harmful to production and welfare. So you would recall that there was no VAT on machinery and equipment, no VAT on water, no VAT on electricity, on basic food, on medical supplies, a whole range of items that were put in place. And so the first thing we thought that we would need to do was to change the environment to generate more jobs. As a result of the taxation policy of the last government, and more so the economic philosophy, we lost about 35,000 jobs before the pandemic, and then maybe another 35,000, 40,000 after the pandemic. So we had a massive loss of jobs in that period. And although we promised to generate about 50,000 jobs in the 5 years, it means now we have to work more aggressively to do so, given that the pandemic, we were confronted with the pandemic. So this is a major issue for us. We have also had to work diligently to fulfill some of the promises that we made to people, like the children of the country, the restoring of the children's grant, and getting it up to $50,000 in the next few years per child. All of these, doubling old age pension, we are on the way there. Scholarship programs, we already, the 20,000 we promised, 6,000 has already been done, another 5,000 this year. And we've made it clear as many people who want to study as possible will get a scholarship from the government if they wish. And so it has been a hectic period. On the ESSEQUIBO coast, we have had a harder time generating jobs, not just ESSEQUIBO coast, but in Linden, in Berbice, in Region 5, and the hinterland regions, because many investors don't want to go there, and these are mainly agricultural regions. In Regions 3 and 4, there are quite a bit of jobs now. In fact, labor shortages. And so that is why we came up with this initiative in the budget, to hire on a part-time basis about 8,000 to 10,000 people from these regions. So when I came here, I said 800 for the ESSEQUIBO coast. But when we got applications, we got about 2,500 applications. So we decided to increase the number to 2,000 persons. And so now across the ESSEQUIBO coast, there would have about 2,000 people starting to work from the 1st of June, which is a large number. They would earn $40,000 a month for 10 days work. And so if you look at 2,000 people, that's $80 million more a month in the economy of ESSEQUIBO. I heard that some of the private sector people are complaining. I was told that people are leaving their work to come and join this program. But that is why we made it part-time, so that people can, 20 days a month, they can work elsewhere. And also, it's about $4,000 per day. Unlike other parts of the country where people are earning $6,000, $8,000 per day in the private sector. So we are hoping that people will make use of this facility. Now, I'm pleased that so many young people, and it seems as though a lot of women have joined or applied for the program. I didn't see many men at the other meeting, and here again, it's a lot of women, but that makes sense. Now, this initiative was designed so that we can spread it. So I hope that we don't have 2 or 3 persons in a household, because it is intended for 1 person per home. So that I hope that so that we can get more people benefiting from the program. This program is not a free program. You have to work 10 days a month. So we expect you to show up and work 10 days a month. So you can stagger the work, but and we expect that since you're working for the government, that you recognize that you're part of providing a better service to people. Whatever you do, the aim is to provide a better service to your community and to the people you serve. So the right attitude is important. And then we don't want people to remain at this level. We hope that you are using this just as a stepping stone to a better job in the future. That means you have to prepare yourselves. I've already made it clear at all the places I've gone to that we want people to study. That is why we launched the GOAL program. So as many people on the ESSEQUIBO coast that you can find who want to have a scholarship, an online scholarship, the government will pay for it. So as many people as possible. So I hope that all of you here, although you're working on this program, you're also going to be studying. Because we want, and if you have not completed school, you can get into a tertiary level program or a technical program. We've just launched a remedial program that after 3 to 6 months, you can then gain acceptance into even a tertiary level program. So I hope that the next time I come to meet with you and talk to you, the people who are working here, I want to see that you're also signing up for scholarships and all of these things that the government will pay for. Because the economy of the future, what that we are building, would require more technically oriented people. People with a higher level of education. And we want maybe not 20,000 as we promised before the election, online scholarships. We want maybe 50, 75,000, as many as we can find Guyanese, we will pay for their scholarships. We also plan within the next couple of years, before the end of the term, to make University of Guyana education free. They will, that is all going to be free. We just met with some students a couple of weeks ago, agricultural students, and we're liberating them from their contracts that they have with government, because we want them to become more entrepreneurial. These are just some of the initiatives we're going to be working on. Here on the ESSEQUIBO coast, we are also co-investing with the private sector to do other ventures, to de-risk some of the ventures, so we can crowd in more investments here and generate more jobs. So a few call centers will be established, the government will build the factory shells, and we expect that you'd have maybe about 1,000 more jobs in the near term being generated, but from the private sector, and better paying jobs than this one, and more full-time jobs. So people can prepare for that. Also, we hope to improve the quality of connectivity, because that's vital on the ESSEQUIBO coast, especially if people are going to go to online education. There are lots of things. New hospital, a $30 million US hospital will start from just close down the road from here. There are lots of other ventures that we're starting on the ESSEQUIBO coast that will see life being transformed here. But this is just the start. We needed to get more people working now, even for a short period, even for 10 days a month. And so it can help to supplement the income at the family level. Because although we've removed all the taxes that ACNUR had put in place, because of what has happened in the COVID period, we've seen an increase in the cost of living. So we're still living with the consequences of COVID. COVID has led many countries to shut down production. Even now, China has shut down many of its factories. I was saying at the other meeting that in the United States of America, they have a shortage of baby food formula. President Biden 2 days ago authorized the army to fly baby food in from Europe into the United States of America. Shortages around the world. Prices have escalated because many of the factories are closed. The freight has gone up maybe 5-fold. The price of oil and gas has gone up significantly, and you know that feeds into everything. Fertilizer, transport, everything else, because of the war in Ukraine. So we are in a very difficult period because of the COVID, and it will take some time before the supplies start flowing again, factories start working again, because we're just coming out of COVID. So we understand that, and we want to work with people. I'm meeting with the farmers tomorrow to see how we can help them to cut down their cost of production so that they can make a higher profit margin. So this initiative here, hopefully it would supplement income at a family level and allow you to have a small income, but it would allow you to study or to do something else with the remaining period every month that you're free. And I hope that you utilize that, the remaining period, productively. Do not just be content with the 10 days and you earn 40,000 and you're happy with that and that's the end of it. You can't be content with that. You have to make sure that the remaining 20 days in the month, you're hungry, either studying or doing something else. That's the only way we're going to make significant progress in this country. So that is what I wanted. I wanted also, many people were skeptical when we said this. I went to Region 10 in Linden, and we promised to do this, the same program, and the regional administration there said it will never happen. So on Saturday, I'm going to Linden so that we can launch the program there too, because we need to make sure all of our people right across the country, especially in those regions where it's harder to generate jobs, that they have this support. So I wanted to come back here, not to take up too much of your time because you have a long day ahead of you just registering and signing up the contracts. So I just wanted to come here and to wish you all the best. And please, I'm going to come back in 6 months' time or so when you're settling, so then you can tell me how the program is going. Now, if before I leave, if there is anything you wish to raise with me, or you wish us to follow up on, I have my staff here and they can make a note of it. All we need from you is your name and a number, and then we'll call. When I came to ESSEQUIBO Coast the last time, and we went to Linden and Berbice, many people had a lot of issues to resolve. So we set up a unit at the Office of the President to follow up on these things, and they call people now. So if you have any problem that you want us to follow up on, please give them the name. Is Steve here now, or is still at the other meeting? Still at the other one. Well, we'll get someone else to make notes. Wilma, you and a couple of others stay on and make the notes. So anyone who wants to raise any issue with me, give them your name and number, and we'll call you later when we get back to Georgetown. But thank you very much for being here today. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Vice President. And in this area, we have, I think, on the count is 285, right, Joy, that turned up already out of the 323, and they've indicated some of them that they're going to come later on. So, tomorrow also, for the first time, ESSEQUIBO is going to have national independence celebrated. And for those of you who went to Anna Regina this morning already, you notice, as we did in the campaign in 2020, February, that a massive stage is being set up. So tomorrow evening, we're inviting all of you to come share independence celebrations with our Vice President and the President, Prime Minister, and other members of the Cabinet. There's going to be massive fireworks, like you probably will see elsewhere in the world. All of this is happening on ESSEQUIBO Coast. So transportation is going to be available within your area. Just get on a bus, go to Anna Regina around 9:30, and celebrate independence with us. All right? So anyone has anything that they want to share with VP at this time? You? Any questions for Vice President? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
We have a mic here. Just. Rafi, VP could use this on the desk, right, to respond.
Morning, Mr. Vice President. My name is Kenny Jewell. I know there are a lot of single parents here that are in need of a job. I think place to keep our babies. I think we need I know there is a government daycare in study, and I know everybody can't make it to go to study to carry their kids and then come back and prepare to go to work. So I think that it would be really nice if you guys could at least, get 2 or 3 other daycare. I'm a mother myself, and to go to work, it would be hard.
All right, we'll make a note of it. So all of these issues,
Thank you.
we also in our manifesto in the campaign, we said we wanted one premier facility in every region to deal with like kids who are differently disabled kids. And the last time I was here, there was a gentleman from, I think, Queenstown, and he had trained in that area, and he promised that he could work at training people. Did we follow up with him, Vilma? He's still there, right? Because I want us to make sure that we build a proper facility in the region. So all the kids who need special needs, the special needs kid, right, and Regina, then we can also train people too. Now, some of the people who are working here on this program, we can attach them, Nigel, to maybe one of these centers, so they can then help with these centers, and then also be trained to take care of the special needs kids, right, in Anna Regina. So we can start training some of the people on this program to help in those areas too. And the daycare, if we had a daycare now, we could have easily assigned a few of the people, because there are a large number of people. It's 2,000 persons going to be employed. And considering you only have about 300 here, so it's 6 times the amount of people here that you have, 6-7 times the amount that you have here that we're hiring now before the end of this month. And so we need to make sure that they're productively placed. The daycare, the thing is that sometimes it's better if it's a little private and public. The public ones don't work totally well, and it's just, maybe we can get, if anybody is willing to put up one, we can always help with the building, and then they manage it for a small fee. So we don't have to run and manage it all the time. You know, when government, sometimes they manage things, you don't get the best out of it. There are some things you should leave for the private sector. So we'll definitely explore that, okay? We'll explore it.
All right, do we have anyone else? Has any question? Yes, across the...
Good morning, everybody. I'm
Good.
Pauline.
Yes.
Speaking on persons with disability,
Yeah.
I personally would like to know that persons learn sign language, because we do have children in schools hearing and speech impairment. So I would like to see that going in ESSEQUIBO rejected.
Is there anyone who can teach that here?
No, we don't have.
We don't have anyone.
Georgetown.
Oh, it's all at Georgetown.
Yes.
Now, that is why in our manifesto we said at least one major facility in every region.
Exactly.
So we'll have to get it done. But the gentleman from Queenstown, see if I can see him before I leave. I'm leaving until Thursday. So I'll be up here all day tomorrow. Today and tomorrow. Randolph Christian. See if I can get him, right? Let him come and see me. Let's see if we can talk through this. Yeah.
So, anyone else? Yes, there's a on the left.
Good day, everyone. VP of the ESSEQUIBO again. What implementation you have in place with this initiative going on, considering the language barrier? Because we all know that English is not the only speaking language around here anymore.
I didn't know that there are other languages that are being spoken, but I think we're still communicating in English. Right, so I think the official language is still English, and you have a lot of people who come from Venezuela, and we should try as far as possible to treat people well and with dignity and ensure that they're not discriminated against. Now, the government, its philosophy is to ensure that that happens. Here, as I said when I was in charity, that there are several categories of people who come back. First of all, the Guyanese whose parents, grandparents left Guyana a long time. These are people who are just as Guyanese as we are. They're eligible the moment they come back. They're eligible for a passport. They're our people. They may not know the language, but once their grandparents or great-grandparents were Guyanese, once they have a drop of Guyanese blood, the constitution of our country says they're eligible immediately to get a passport and to enjoy all of the benefits. So the second category are the Amerindians. Some of them travel across borders from time to time over the last maybe 1,000 years. Many of them don't have documents, but this has been a border thing. So they travel back and forth across the border. And then there are Venezuelans who come here who have no connection to Guyana. They should also be treated well And maybe at some point in time, when things improve there, they'll be repatriated. So the reason why we say people must be treated well, over history, when times were very hard here, when we had undemocratic rule in Guyana, the 3 decades, many of our people fled. When we didn't have food here, when we were as poor as Haiti, many of them fled to Suriname, to Venezuela, many fled to the US and other places, and they set up life there. And we always wanted people to treat our people when they go to these countries fairly and with dignity. It would be hypocritical for us as Guyanese now to discriminate against people who are fleeing hardships elsewhere and coming to find an income here or a little job. It would be hypocritical for us to discriminate against them. And I wanted to say this publicly, that the language may be different, etc., but people should be treated, they shouldn't be discriminated against. So if there are ways that once our people are occupied and fully working, in the future, the place where this country is going, for example, if you go to Region 4 now, we have labor shortages. If you find 500 persons now and give me them, I can immediately place them with the private sector, and they earn much more than the 40,000 for 10 days if they were in Region 4. I can find 500 jobs immediately. Everybody needs labor, the contractors, the businessmen, etc. We are running out of labor in Region 4. Skills like carpentry and welding and plumbing and electricians and all of those things, scarce. People are charging $10,000 a day now for a carpenter, and you still can't find a plumber for $10,000-$15,000 a day. And so the problem is that is in this area. And I hope that some people here, because if you can earn $2,500 as a certified welder, women, men, all can train. We can get people trained to work in some of the oil and gas sector. And you can easily live on the coast, but travel there and stay during the week and come back. If you're earning $300,000-$400,000 a month, you can afford to rent and travel. So we have to, that is why I'm saying training is vital. Now, not everybody would want to go. Yesterday I talked to the sugar workers at IFLOT, a large number. And many of them are close by because the job is just a stone throw away from them. And many don't want to go in for the training to retrain. So it's a mindset too that we have to come up against. Here on the ESSEQUIBO coast, I find it very different. Of a lot of young, smart young people who are willing to take up the scholarships and stuff like that. In some parts of the country, it's a nightmare. You take it to people's home practically, and you can't get them to go into a training program. So that is why I said, if you're interested, we can talk about that and to get people here to train for future jobs, because the economy will generate those.
Anyone else? From this side? I know we have some people from Kapui. How many persons from Kapui here? Nobody? Yes? Okay, so please give the mic to one of them from Kapui. Because Vice President also, when he was president, he started the land titling program. And Kapui actually got their extension from Vice President. So.
Don't put the people under pressure. Yeah. Well, it's good to see you all, right? Yeah. I have to visit too.
Okay, Mr. Vice President. I don't have much of an issue, but all I would like to say is very much thankful to you for the great initiative that you have taken. I mean, I don't know if all of us will be employed, but
yeah, I think once it's one per home, right, and you're here, then you would be because we're not going to do 5 or 3 in a home, right?
Okay.
1 per household.
We would be so much interested of getting others in the community be trained for future jobs.
Yes, well, that is why when I'm going to have Nigel and Vilma and the others, maybe Priyamanik Chan come out, the Minister of Education, and then bring people together and then see what kind of training they want to be done and whether we can do a lot of the training just in the region. Now, I saw some amazing things being done at the agricultural exhibition. And up till last night, actually about maybe 1 o'clock this morning, the President and I were talking, because we're trying to see if we can put an incubator of that sort in every region. So, like the pepper pot, they package the pepper pot and it could last a whole year. 1 year. Cook up rice, just dry and everything in a pack, and you just pour it out and boil it for maybe 30 minutes, and it's all pre-cooked. They even had like eggplant, belange, they package it, and when you pour the hot water on it, you even get the smell like you're boiling it, roasting it before you make the chocolate. And so they managed to preserve a lot of those, right, the smell, the taste, in packages, because that was the difficult thing to do, because, once you add the preservatives, it changes the taste. So with the technology changing, so if we put a few of those incubators here on the ESSEQUIBO coast, we can get a lot of small business started. And it is something that we work with, like in Kapui and all these places, to start some small businesses, which could eventually grow. It's very exciting what I saw at the exhibition, the level of Guyanese ingenuity and the quality of the products that they are making there. And this is done with some external help to deal with design, packaging, and product development. So we're looking at a whole excited sort of thing. So on the training,